Hey lady, welcome to Confessions of a Surf Lady, a podcast by the Surf Society. For so long, women have been misrepresented by the surf industry, only highlighting a narrow and exclusive version of who a surf lady can be. But you and I both know that there is so much more to women surfing than that. This podcast right here is a place to tell our story, how we want to tell it. At Confessions of a Surf Lady, you'll meet everyday surf ladies doing amazing things in their local communities, as well as pros, world champs, big wave riders, and badass living legends from women's surf history, all sharing their stoke on this blossoming global women's surf culture. What's even more special, though, is that you, yes you, will get a chance to participate in the conversation by leaving me your confessions. I'm your host, Laura Day. Think of me as your new favorite surf sister, connecting you to your beautiful global women's surf community, helping you boost your confidence before you head out for your next surf, and even dropping a few surf tips from the Surf Society along the way. If you want to stay connected with me, find me on Instagram. That's at Confessions of a Surf Lady. Kind of use that like my personal account. And then go ahead and follow at Surf Society. That's SURF SOCIETE. There, you'll find a handful of free resources to help you through your surfing journey. All right, lady, thanks again for joining me here at Confessions of a Surf Lady, where we're cultivating a global women's surf culture through thoughtful conversation. Let's get to our episode, yeah? The number one component that makes surfing really special is the community, is the people that you get to surround yourself with, whether they're friends or a surf club or whatever it may be. We as women are notorious for doing things in groups. So finding a group of women that you can surf with and go out to surf brunches or dinners with after a sunset is part of what makes the surf journey so soul-filling. Now, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say it. Yes, I just said community in surfing is everything, but I'm a firm believer through my experiences that it's not just enough to find women who surf and go and surf with them. There are a range of abilities, a range of goals, a range of motivations and personalities, and not everybody is going to be the right fit for you, whether that's a group, an individual, or maybe an organized club. Now, you guys know that I am all for community, and I do not say this to go against camaraderie of women surfing. I actually think what I have to say goes for the camaraderie of women surfing. And I don't think that it's talked about enough, that it's not just about finding a community, it's about finding the right community for you. So in this episode, we're going to talk about what community means in women's surfing and how you can find the right community so that you can thrive in your surf journey. Surfing is a daunting sport, especially if you're trying to go it alone or you feel outnumbered in the lineup as the only woman or the only few women out there. Surfing can be really intimidating, and I want to be clear that it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or you're intermediate or advanced. You can feel intimidated at any level. It's not immune to just people who have just started. So naturally, we want to find other people to share this journey with. But I want to point out that not everyone is a good fit to be your best surf buddy or a good fit as a club for you to show up at the events all the time. And that is totally okay. Perhaps you want to surf new breaks and you want to surf in new conditions, try different spots, but the person that you often surf with is only comfortable within a certain size range at a certain break at a certain time. And they've got that rhythm, they've got that routine for themselves, and they don't want to break out of it. But you want to try something more. It can be frustrating because while you cherish that friendship and you love spending time with them, you do want to go out and push yourself. And that friendship isn't helping you push yourself. It might be keeping you in your comfort zone. Maybe you've joined a surf club. This has happened to me before, and you've just kind of outgrown the vibe. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe the people that you surf with are too advanced for your skill level and it's pushing you into waves that you are not yet ready to take that kind of risk and you're not comfortable. When we're in this sport that involves having that camaraderie and building that confidence through the people around you, it can be really hard to feel like the odd woman out. And I'm going to tell you, I have been there. I have 100% been there. And it really sucks because that feeling of being the odd person out can make your surf experience suck. Like, I can't find any other words to describe it because I've totally lived it. And I 100% know that the people that I have around me in the lineup or as my surf friends that I go surf with or the communities that I've had around me have had enormous influences on my experience with surfing. And it can go either way. It can be really positive or it can be not a good match and it can be negative. I'm going to share a couple of my experiences so that if you're going through anything like this or have gone through anything like this, you'll know that you're not alone. The first one that I'll share with you is I used to be a part of a surf club. And as I was beginning, it was a really great fit. You know, there were people there that were super fun and helpful. And I was able to meet women that surfed at the same level that I surfed and find other women to surf with. And that was my goal. So it was great because the friends that I made were really surfing at my same level. We could relate in that sense. As the years went on in this particular club, in this particular group, I started to feel more and more disconnected from the way that things were run, the way that the board made decisions. It started to feel, frankly, really, really toxic and not fun. And there were a few instances where I was outright bullied online, in person, and I started to really dislike surfing. I hated how it affected my mentality towards surfing. It made me feel really bad about wanting to go and get out in the water. And at the time, I was also running Iera Surf, which is my women's surfwear line. And it made me feel not good about being a woman in the water because of this environment that I was in. I would say that that's probably one of the biggest surf slumps that I had fallen into. And me just not realizing that it was okay to not be a part of this group that I had outgrown, that I don't share values with anymore, that isn't supporting my surf journey and making it positive. The fact that I wasn't able to tell myself, like, it's okay, like you can just leave that group or you can just quit or you don't have to be a part of this. It just kind of kept me feeling like there was something wrong with me, like it was my fault, you know? But once I was able to say, like, this doesn't have anything to do with me, and this is just not a fit. This is not what I want for my surf experience. This is not pushing me. This is not allowing me to enjoy my sessions, which is what I'm supposed to be doing when I go out and make all this effort to surf. Once I gave myself that permission to quit, I had just felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. And I realized, you know what? It's not going against this camaraderie of community. It's just about finding the right place for me. So if you're in a situation like that, I just want to let you know, because I don't feel like it's talked about at all. Just because there's like a group and it feels like it should be camaraderie, it feels like it should be community. If you're not feeling it for whatever reason, it's okay. You can find another group. You can find other people to surf with. Another instance that I've had in my 14-year surf career is I had a friend that I spent a lot of time with who had an injury and then became fairly negative about surfing. And I spent a lot of time with this person. And it could be negativity about the conditions. It could be negativity about the crowds, whatever it was. The underlying tone of the conversation of surfing when I was around this person was constantly negative. And I feel for them. They couldn't surf. They had an injury, but it just was super unnecessary for that to bleed into my experience. For me, realizing that I didn't want that negativity in my experience and something that I loved, and it didn't have something to do with what I was going through, I was finally able to give myself permission and say, you know what? That's not how I want my experience to be. Again, this is no longer a good fit. I've outgrown this. We have different personalities or attitudes about surfing, and that's totally okay. I've absolutely struggled with making these big shifts in my life and feeling like there's going to be these negative consequences and building up this idea that I did the wrong thing in my mind by walking away from something that just wasn't good for me anymore. And I want to encourage you that within your surfing friendships and your surfing groups, if you are just not feeling it's a good fit, then it's totally okay. I guess that's what this episode is about for me, is to just tell you like it's okay to go and find a better fit for you. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to feel shamed. You don't have to feel like you're leaving people in the dust. It's okay to find something that works for you and makes you feel good about your surf journey. So those are just two examples. I mean, I've been surfing, I feel like, long enough to have had other instances similar, not maybe as dramatic, but similar, where you surf with someone for a little bit, you find out they're not a good fit. Side note, if you go on Facebook groups, there's lots of people that will be like, hey, do you want to surf on Tuesday at this spot? And then a lot of other people that person doesn't know will comment and say yes. And that might be a great meeting point, but you're not obligated to continue to surf with people if they're just not a good fit for you personality-wise. So after my experiences, like over the last decade or more, with trying to find the right people for me to be around and surf with and have this wonderful surf experience and surf journey with, I'm so stoked on having created the Surf Society. And the Surf Society is our women's online surfing community where we get together to learn more, surf better, and live happy. We do that through online events. We do that through workshops. And then we also do that through our in-person trips and meetups. And it's been so amazing because since creating the Surf Society is really built on like the principles that I cared about, a lot of the principles that I share on this podcast, a lot of values that I have, I feel that it really attracted the people that understand me, that see surfing the way that I do, that know how to enjoy it the way that I do, but also are there to push themselves. And I am so inspired by the women in the Surf Society. I learn from them all the time. I watch them push themselves. I watch them get better. We cheer each other on. And it's just like this amazing thing. For me personally, after having had these negative experiences and to now be here in a place where I feel really good about the people that I have around me, not only in the lineup, but for my personal life, it feels amazing. It's so much more than I could have asked for when I was like stuck in the surf slump of a toxic club or a friendship that was negative. So I want to tell you that if you don't feel that the group that you're surfing with, the club that you're in, whatever it is, if you don't feel like it's a good fit, it's 100% okay to let it go for something else. And it's so cliche, but it's totally like dating. You might meet somebody and surf with them for a little bit and everything's cool and you're really enjoying it, but then maybe you progress and you need to move on to meeting other people who surf different spots, or you want to push yourself and you want to surf with people who are pushing themselves a little more. It's just okay for you to ebb and flow through that. And if you allow yourself to do that, I think you're going to be a lot happier with your own journey and your own progression and your own experience. All right, lady, if you have a group that you love to surf with, I am stoked for you. I'm so happy that you have that and you feel supported in the lineup. If you don't have a group, or you don't feel like the group or the people you surf with are a good fit, I really encourage you to move on to something that's going to be a good fit for you, that's going to make you enjoy your experience in the water. And if you want to be a part of the Surf Society and join our community and our surf family, I would love to have you, because I know if you listen to this podcast, I'm sure you get me, because you might know me well enough by now by listening to these episodes. I would love to have you. The Surf Society is our online surf community where we get together to learn more, surf better, and live happy. We have our own platform. It's really cool. It's off of social media, which I think is such a great thing because social media can be so distracting. This is on our own platform. We host live Q&As over Zoom. workshops, video analysis. We also have a library of workshops and content and resources for you. That's called the Surf Lab. And then a couple times a year, we'll get together and surf together. And also, a lot of the women have met each other in person through just traveling and getting together, which has been really, really special. One of my favorite things ever, really, to hear that other friendships are being formed outside of like our community is really, really beautiful. So if you would like to join us, I would love to have you. All you have to do is click the link at the top in the show notes. I will give you your first 7 days free to try it out. Click that link, create your account, log in, and come hang out with us. Then you can start learning more, surfing better, and living happy with your newfound surf family at the Surf Society. All right, lady, we've come to the end of our episode, but not the end of the conversation. After listening, I hope that you feel represented, empowered, and even better connected to your surf sisters in our beautiful surf lady community. Let's stay connected before our next episode. Follow me on Instagram at Confessions of a Surf Lady. And follow our amazing women's surf community where we get together to learn more, surf better, and live happy. That is at Surf Society, spelled Societe. Last but not least, join us in our exclusive Surf Society platform. Join us for your first week free by clicking the link at the top of the show notes. Thank you so much for bringing your unique and beautiful self to our lineup at Confessions of a Surf Lady. I'll see you on our next episode. Your host, Laura Day.